finding the pain, right? What is the wrong way to do it? What's the right way to do it? Some people, they're gonna build first. They're gonna think, oh, what can I make? What's a cool solution to make? That's wrong, because when you do that, you're wasting a lot of time. If you have no confirmation that anyone will even pay for what you're gonna build, why would you build it? Like, you're literally taking a big shot in the dark. Instead, find a pain, because if a pain exists, then you can solve it, right? You can build a solution, but if there's no pain that solution is solving, what is the point? It's not even a solution. It's just a bunch of code that you wrote with Claude Code. No point of that, right? Look for pains in businesses. What costs them money? Okay. Another thing people do, they'll just post online of whatever they build and they'll hope someone wants to buy it. No, what you need to do is you find the pain and then you look for the specific niche that pain is in. All right. And then the people who are doing this wrong, again, they're hoping for a lucky response after they post online. But what you're doing is you identify the pain, you identify the specific niche, and now you wrote down an MBO. An MBO as detailed as this, so you know exactly who you're targeting, how you're targeting, what's the benefits of your AI business compared to them not having your solution, not having your AI business. And then after that, the offer is just going to sell itself. I mean, if you write down your offer and you validate it properly, right? And use Claude Code to build the offer, use it to validate, use it to eventually just build a solution, you're not gonna be wasting any time during the building phase, okay? Again, yes, you can build quickly with Claude Code, but if you're just testing the offer from the jump, then you're not even have to waste time using your Claude Code credits to build a solution because you've already validated that someone wants to buy it. So when someone says, yes, I want a solution to solve this pain point, the question isn't, will they pay for it? The question isn't, do they need this? The question is, okay, when can you build it? And boom, you build it and it's done. But if you build first, the question is, who would want this? Who would pay for this? And that can cause a huge delay in your road to success in the AI business space. So one of the biggest frameworks that I follow is Arise ideation framework. Essentially, it's helping you find sticky problems versus trendy problems. This is very important because if you're able to find a sticky problem, that means this problem exists. It's been a nagging pain for a lot of businesses, and a trendy problem is a core business pain that maybe is with newer products. Like a lot of people right now are using OpenClaw, and businesses are spending a lot of money on OpenClaw installation. And the pain point is that they don't know how to install OpenClaw. So there's businesses that are literally charging like 10K, 15K, 20K to do OpenClaw installations. This is a trendy problem. OpenClaw is slowly dying, let's be honest. In fact, it might already be dead by the time this video comes out. So in that case, sticky problems are just problems that have been, around for a long period of time, like lead generation for roofing companies or running mass email campaigns. So those problems always stick. All right, so with the pain identified, with the understanding of how to create an MBO, let's look at the offer stack. These are the genuine offers you can provide to a business that it makes sense for them to slowly go up the ladder. All right, so you can start off with a low ticket offer. This is what I call like a Trojan horse, something that's very simple that just establishes that to the company that you know what you're doing. You know how to build a simple landing page. You know how to build a simple AI chatbot with Claude Code. And you can charge $500 for this. Nothing that's crazy. The business will have very little friction saying yes to you as long as you can pose yourself as an agency that knows what they're doing, because $500 for most businesses is not a lot of money. So if you suck at what you do and they pay you $500 and they don't like what you build, they're not gonna think that they wasted a lot of time or a big investment. Now, if you do a great job, you can sell them on a mid-ticket solution, meaning that after the $500 solution is delivered and they love it, you can then propose a bigger integration for them that you can charge $2,000 for. Then you can charge them even more for a high-ticket retainer automation suite. This is where you're automating a ton of different processes in that business. This can go to $5,000 plus, all right, especially for small businesses, SMBs, or brick and mortars that are in your area. And after that, you can get a lot of testimonies on your website doing these high ticket retainer automation suites. And then you can lock in your first enterprise build. This is a client that will pay you 10, 20, 30, 50K even to build out entire AI employees and an AI operating system for that business. So you might be automating the entire marketing department. You might be automating the entire sales department. So when you're doing something like this, you're saving the company hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, because they're paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to do the same things your AI employees can. Your AI employees that you use Claude Coworker, Claude Code to build. And that's why they'll pay you so much money for this, right? And you have to get to this point, you have to do some of these other solutions first, because this is what's going to establish you as a real AI business in a time where a lot of people act like they know how to run an AI business, have a profitable AI agency, but in actuality, their agency is barely making money, is probably negative month over month. So you don't want to end up in that pool. You want to be a legit company, and to do that, you need to get some of these, singles first before you go for a home run like this. And then eventually, when your agency is scaled, or you say you have a productized solution or an app that you've been scaling by selling to multiple other companies, or selling to B2C, like regular consumers, then you can go for an exit. This is where you sell your agency or sell your software for 3 to 5x annual revenue. So one of the exits I've gotten, it was a software that made about $8,000 a month, $7,000 a month on average. And I got an exit for $30K up front, $170K over 6 months, so a $200,000 total offer, which is pretty sick. For a lot of people, that's a yearly salary, Yeah. And the first client, when you get that first client, it becomes a case study as well as an upsell opportunity. Because the moment you get your first client, you can create a video testimony out of them. And now the second person you pitch your solution to or your business to, they're gonna be like, well, you did a great job with that first client, so I believe you. And now you got a second client. Also, your first client, I do this a lot. If you watch one of my previous videos, I talk about the upsell opportunity. If you do great work with a client, they're more than willing to pay you again for something bigger. And that's why you run this offer stack. You shouldn't just have one offer. You should have a low ticket offer. You do a great job, the client will want a $2,000 solution. Do a great job, they're gonna want you to automate their entire maybe marketing department for $5K. You do a great job, they're gonna want you to automate other departments and now almost like their entire business for $10K to $50K. And then as you scale and you get more and more clients, your agency has more value, your software has more value, you can get a big exit. And by the way, this exact system we just drew out, the MBO, the offer stack, the paying first framework, this is more proof that it genuinely works. This is one of my clients, Ben, who went from $1K to $10,000 a month in just 3 months by following this system. Abdul got his first client, a CEO of a security company. CEO of a security company. Do you understand how crazy that is? And he's charging him hourly, and now he's going to be selling him full-on AI automation suites. And that CEO of a security company is going to put him in touch with other CEOs and other CEOs in the tech space. So now this first client of his, he will be able to upsell and use him as a great testimony. I mean, you literally have your CEO of a security company as your first client. You can now get a bunch of other clients at a founder level, executive level, and they'll be willing to pay you very, handsomely because they are the executive of a company. So the next thing is where to find these business owners. All right, so there's you, and now you got to find these people that you can potentially sell to. The biggest thing people always decide doing is they're gonna go ahead and send a bunch of emails. They're gonna start doing cold calling, which I'm not gonna say don't do, but do understand that these are marketing methods that require a lot of effort, a lot of time, with very little success rates. I mean, in fact, that's why you see people doing 10,000 cold calls a month. Do you want to do that? I don't know. I wouldn't want to do that. Or sending maybe 100,000 emails a month. That is insane numbers. And that running that entire operation just takes a lot of time, and it's not something I would recommend. So what I recommend first, forget the cold email blast, forget the cold LinkedIn DM, forget everything else. Attack your personal network. Look for your local barber. You probably get a haircut unless you're bald. A dentist. I hope you get your teeth cleaned. Most dentists don't have chatbots on their website, right? Or their website as is probably garbage. Barbers, a lot of them still take on calls manually. You can add, giving them a voice AI agent that can take on the calls for them and book appointments for them. It will take you maximum 2 days to make. You have the building skills. Also, barbers usually have bad websites. Most barbers just use like Wix or Squarespace or these very low-end website builders to build pretty basic sites. Claude, add a UI UX path skill, and you can now have sites that you make with just 2 prompts that are stellar, high converting, and look extremely modern. And most barbers who don't know what Claude is even will be astounded by what you created, and they'll be more than willing to pay you a lot of money for it. So, and here's an example. Tessa, before, when she first came in without knowing anything about systems and all that, she was just a full stack software engineer located in Chicago, and she worked for a performance marketing company in New York. And again, she had the building experience. She's literally a full stack software engineer, but she wasn't able to get clients. After proper systems and the Sauna framework, which helps you turn cold leads into super hot leads, she closed a revenue share partnership with a custom web development company. She utilized targeted cold outreach to find qualified prospects. She landed 33% rev share deals. She landed $500 per placement and $150 base fee deals. Again, all because she followed a system. And to do this, you have to have a proper identity shift. See, right now what you think this all is, right, is you get a personal portfolio, you get 1K followers, perfect your cold outreach, you learn the right tech stack, wait until the offer is perfect, and that's where you're going to be able to get your first client. That's what you're thinking right now. But that limiting belief, that wrong belief, to be honest, needs to be changed, because right now you are embodying someone who doesn't understand the AI space. But this entire video thus far has been helping you break down this belief and understanding the proper way to get that first client. Because right now you're capable, but you're stuck. See, the main difference is not skill, but the system, right? You don't need more skills, you just need a system. What it actually looks like: you find one business with a specific pain, you describe what you can fix, you get on a one-on-one call, like a sales call is what you would call it, you close them, and you repeat with the proof you have. That first call might suck a little bit because your first call, you don't have any proof to go by because you have no prior clients. So on that first call, what you can do is you can show off some of the AI products you built already, some AI automation projects maybe that you've just built to practice your Claude code skills, or you just have Claude code just one shot in dashboard and present that to the client. And this will give you proof to the client that you at least know how to build. And then when you get that first client, you close that first client, you deliver, then your second client, you can show them your first client. Then your third client, you can show them your first 2 clients. And then it'll be way easier to close them on a call. And you want to target, a founder with a business, obviously, right? So one system, you apply the system once and you learn it, you do it, and you run it back and forth again and again and again. You get that one client, and that proof would change everything after. Just like I said, once you get that one client, every other client becomes very, very fast. And here is the graph that looks like. Like in the beginning, it'll be like this, and then like that, boom. The moment that first client hits right here, second client, third client, fourth client, fifth client, sixth client, seventh client, eighth client, it goes way faster. Your revenue literally triples, quadruples once you get that business launched, and that all depends on that first client. Want to work with me one-on-one and learn this system? Click the first link in the description below. I work with 190 plus entrepreneurs, helping them scale their AI businesses and generate over $2 million for these mentees.